Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive mystery of human biology, the adaptive immune system. We're going to explore how your body manages to pull off what I like to call the ultimate preparedness paradox. It is a biological magic trick that happens inside you every single day, keeping you alive in a world full of microscopic threats. Think about this for a second. We encounter countless microbes over our lifetime. Some are just your standard run-of-the-mill bacteria, but others are entirely new, mutating pathogens that literally didn't even exist a generation ago. So here's the paradox. How on earth does your immune system fight an enemy it has never seen before? How do our bodies prepare for a threat that doesn't yet exist? All right, so here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start by unpacking this crazy paradox, figure out how biological diversity creates laser-focused specificity, look at the literal genetic math behind it all, weigh the biological costs, and wrap up with what this means for your completely unique immune fingerprint. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The Immune System's Paradox. Predicting the Unpredictable.
So the core issue here is that your immune system doesn't have a crystal ball, right? It can't predict what specific virus you're going to bump into next week. Intuitively, we kind of assume the body acts like a custom blacksmith. A bug enters, the body studies its shape, and then manufactures a custom-fit lock to trap it. But biological reality? Totally different. It's actually pre-generating a massive, ridiculous diversity of random locks in advance. When a new bug enters, it's just a key wandering around hoping to bump into the one pre-existing lock that actually fits. Immunologists call this massive, pre-existing armory of locks the lymphocyte repertoire. Basically, it's the entire vast collection of distinct antigen receptors hanging out on your B cells and T cells way before any infection ever happens. The secret sauce of your immune system isn't building a perfect weapon on the spot. Its power lies in having an astronomically huge arsenal already waiting in the wings.
Moving on to Section 2. Diversity enables true specificity. The power of the group. Now, at first glance, diversity and specificities sound like total opposites. How can something be incredibly diverse, yet laser-focused at the same time? Well, in the immune system, they actually depend on each other. You see, one single immune cell is not a master key. One cell equals one very specific target. Cell A only sees antigen A. Cell B only sees antigen B. Since each individual cell is basically a one-trick pony, the absolute only way your body can protect you from millions of threats is by having millions of different cells. You need the power of the whole diverse group to get that intense specificity. And this brings us to the absolute core mantra of the adaptive immune system. Generate broadly, select specifically. It's all about creating this incredibly broad space of possibilities first. The specificity part? That only kicks in later, when an actual invader shows up and selects its exact match from that giant pool. All right, Section 3, generating massive immune possibilities, the genetic math. So you might be wondering, if we need billions of different biological locks, how do we physically fit all that DNA inside us? We don't have millions of separate genes taking up space for this. The answer is honestly an elegant mathematical trick relying on just one core concept, VDJ recombination. Instead of a massive blueprint, your immune system uses a tiny set of gene segments and just shuffles them around. Think of it like a biological slot machine. By mixing and matching these segments, your body multiplies a handful of genes into an almost endless array of unique combinations. And this timeline lays it out perfectly. Step 1, the diverse repertoire forms. Remember, this happens long before you ever get sick. The locks are already made. Step 2, an antigen actually enters the body. Step 3 is clonal selection, where that antigen finds its 1 in a million matching cell. And finally, step 4 is clonal expansion, where that specific matching cell hits the biological copy machine to build an army. The bug doesn't teach your body what to build, it simply selects what's already there. Which brings us to Section 4, trade-offs of immune diversity, the cost of preparedness. Every biological miracle comes with a cost, right? And keeping this system running has two massive stakes. First up, the math of defense. We have this towering, insanely high number of possible receptors, meaning we can recognize pretty much anything. But because there is only so much physical space in your body, we can only afford a tiny, almost non-existent number of cells for each specific threat before an infection. You might literally have just a handful of cells capable of recognizing a brand new virus. That is exactly why it takes a few days to feel better when you get sick. Your body is scrambling to find those few specific cells and clone them into an army big enough to fight back. This second trade-off, that one is way more dangerous. It's the risk of friendly fire. Think about it.
If your body is just blindly generating trillions of random biological locks to match every possible shape in the universe, it is mathematically guaranteed that some of those locks will accidentally fit your own body's cells. To avoid attacking itself, the body relies on immunologic tolerance. This is a super sensitive, critical process where your system actively scans for and destroys any of these random cells that might react to your own tissue. We absolutely need that crazy broad diversity to survive the outside world, but we absolutely require strict tolerance to survive ourselves. Finally, Section 5, a living, unique repertoire, your immune fingerprint. All these invisible, microscopic mechanisms we've been talking about, they ultimately culminate in something deeply personal. Check out the contrast between what's mathematically possible and what's physically real. You've potential diversity, that's the theoretical, nearly infinite number of receptors your genetic slot machine could create. But then you have your realized repertoire, that's the actual, physically limited set of receptors floating around inside you right now. You simply don't have enough room in your blood to carry every single mathematical possibility at the exact same time. Because of that physical space limit, your realized repertoire is completely 100% unique to you. Literally, even identical twins don't have the exact same immune system. It's shaped by the random roll of the genetic dice, early development, your personal history of past infections, the vaccines you've received, your age, and your environment. Your immune system isn't just some static thing you inherited. It's a living, breathing diary of every microscopic experience you have ever had. Now, to bridge the gap between our physical cellular limits and the literally infinite number of threats out there, the body uses one last safety net: cross-reactivity. Basically, a single receptor doesn't just recognize one absolute perfect shape. It can actually recognize a limited range of structurally related shapes. It's kind of a biological close enough, ensuring that even with a limited physical repertoire, we still cast a wide enough net to catch the bad guys. That's why getting one mild bug can sometimes give you partial protection against a different, nastier one. So this all brings us right back to where we started. Generate broadly, select specifically. The adaptive immune system's greatest magic trick is not predicting the future. It's embracing the unknown. It prepares for everything by throwing the widest possible net of diversity, knowing for a fact that when the time comes, the exact right tool will be there, ready to be selected and magnified. And that leaves us with a pretty wild thought. Right now, inside of you, millions of naive immune cells are circulating, waiting for a pathogen they have literally never seen before. If your immune system really is a living record of every possibility in past experience, what on earth is it going to choose to remember next? How does that single, perfect cell get pulled from the massive crowd to build a defensive army? Well, that process is called clonal selection, and it's an absolutely brilliant topic for you to explore next. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep staying curious.